3rd of November 2020. There they are. It's basically finished. Additional addings to the office. I'll try and get in a position where the lighting enables you to see the additional addings, which I will come back to in a moment. And then just a brief, very brief, down there's Ian Adair on the left, on the right, Derek Akora. The others I'll just very quickly go past. And in terms of finding out what these represent, who they are, why they're significant in my life and career, you can look at the other video, the link to which is below this one. This one, which is just giving you a rough, very quick view of the artifacts, displays, images, souvenirs and other things that adorn the flat areas, the walls and all the other places in my office, each and every one having their own story, a story and an association and memory that is explained and detailed in the video at the link below this one, which is intended just to bring you up to date with the few new additions that have been added, which I will indeed give you details of in a few moments' time, once we've just briefly gone round the other walls, the office. As I say, all of these things, each and every single item has some form of memory, either directly to my career or personal life, or both. From the moment of birth on the 13th of August 1975 up to date now, which is the 3rd of November 2020. And we are very nearly at the point of showing you the newest additions. Literally everywhere you look, there is something of magical, mentalism, hypnosis, mind therapy or related showbiz significance in my office area. And all of this stuff, as I say, is indeed explained in the video at the link below this one. So, the latest additions are as follows. I'll just say all of these things are explained in the video below this one. So the latest additions is that the picture of myself with, unfortunately the angle I'm at with the light isn't too good for that one, but there's a picture of me with Derek Akora there, and down there is Ian Adair. Ian Adair came and saw me do lectures at the Southern England Magic Convention, and he was taking notes in my marketing lecture and said how wonderful it was afterwards, which was wonderful of him. He also of course worked for Supreme Magic when I had my column in Magigram magazine, and when they were going to publish my book on hypnosis years ago as well, and they were going to have me do a video series, and then unfortunately the company went bankrupt. Derek Akora, the late spirit medium who I passed across on various psychic events and TV channels when I was doing that stuff in the very early 90s. Here we have the amazing Kreskin, whose show used to appear on the very early hours of ITV when there was only 3 TV channels in England. And I thought it was just amazing, because this wasn't like Paul Daniels' magic. This seemed real. He was hypnotising people. He appeared to be psychic, although he said it was all trickery. And in more recent years, obviously, I discovered that Kreskin says there's no such thing as hypnosis, which has also been my stance throughout my career. And, Kreskin has actually gone and performed in places in America where they say hypnosis is illegal and banned, and gone to court and won on the argument that hypnosis doesn't exist. We then have Mark Lewis, the world famous Svengali deck pitchman, psychic entertainer and magician, author of the absolutely amazing book, The Annotated Royal Road to Card Magic, and also, of course, of the long and short of it, the best Svengali pitch in the world, which just happens to be the one that was taught to be by one of Mark Lewis's students, Adam Harms, which I developed and expanded and used when I was working for Marvin's Magic in London, and became their most successful demonstrator that Christmas, earning more in a day than many of their stores did in a week. So thank you, Mark. Mark's also been influential in terms of psychic and hypnosis stuff. I've also helped Mark and encouraged him to market his hypnosis and other products through Amazon and other channels in this modern age. So it's really bizarre. And what's even more bizarre is that Mark Lewis had the magic concession inside the Paul Daniels Magic Museum that I worked on with my dad, Tizzy the Clown, on the Golden Mile in Blackpool. So the first ever Svengali deck of magic tricks I bought were indirectly bought from Mark Lewis. And then I was shown how to use them by Paul Daniels. We've got Mike Donata there. Mike, wow, as you can see, he's doing the floating ball there. That's significant, because I got a floating ball off Mike Donata when I was about 13. And I did this in old-time music hall shows, theatres in the Northwest, at Hay Hall, Stately Home in Wigan, and various other venues, and it always went down amazingly well. A one-man self-contained floating ball. I also did it on a show with the late Alan Phoenix, who said it was one of the best floating balls he'd seen, because there was obviously no stage hookup. Mike also, in my teenage years, sort of when I was around 17, 18, thereabouts, he bought off me the copyright to my first ever book, the Original Magic by Alex-Leroy, as I was called then. That being the book that the first ever copy of which was bought by Paul Daniels. Many, many years later, I bought the copyright back off him. But thank you, Mike. You've been a wonderfully supportive influence on my career. We then have the late Anthony Owen, who used to be an advisor to Darren Brown and many other people, and worked for Objective Television Productions, who purchased pretty much every DVD that I've ever released, and have used elements of what I teach on them, sometimes word for word, action for action, in their television shows, such as Rajan and the Evil Hypnotist, and productions by Darren Brown as well. Actually, Anthony Owen, I met, oh bloody hell, I was in my young teens, and we met at an IBM convention in either Eastbourne or Brighton, one of the two. Faye Prester was also there, and we all sat together, and we were just having a good old magic jam, and then we met up at conventions for years after that, and kept in touch pre-internet days, through the post, would you believe, through letters and stuff. Wonderful, supportive, knowledgeable, a great loss to the magic community. Next we have Bobby Bernard, the late and great legendary close-up magician. I well remember, again, I was in about 15, I guess. Bobby Bernard at Blackpool Magic Convention telling me, I was with David R.K. and Jamie Allen at the time, and he told me that he suggested I'd be very good if I did a droll comedy act, which is what he meant. But I just repeated to him, oh, a droll act, I'll give it some thought. And then the next day, we saw Bobby again, I said, Bobby, I've listened to what you said, and off a prop maker I've ordered a bridge and a load of scenery and stuff. And he looked bemuddled and bemused and asked me, he said, Alex, what do you mean, a bridge and scenery and stuff? I said, for the troll act you told me to do. You may not find that particularly funny, but neither did Bobby at the time, actually. We did, he didn't. But then he did laugh about it the next day, and whenever we met up after that. He was very, very helpful with his advice over the years, was Bobby. And then Ali Bongo, who of course famously was also Paul Daniels' main advisor. Ali, there's a video actually on YouTube of Ali walking past me while I'm hypnotising somebody outside the Ruskin Hotel in Blackpool in a safe, legal, lawful manner, I will add, because I had insurance in place and was doing everything correctly. But you should see the look on Ali's face. It's quite hilarious. Well, pertinently, we also met at various magic conventions and events, and on one occasion he took a lot of time, bless his socks, to go into the true history of the psychokinetic touches, PK touches effect, that a lot of people put down to being originally traceable to Banachek, although Banachek obviously does mention Milburn Christopher in there, but there's an even earlier source than that, which I talk about in some of my products, so I won't mention here, but Ali Bongo did teach and reveal that stuff to me. We then got Russell Hall of Magic in Sheffield. If you look very closely in the background behind Russell, right about, I don't know if my finger will come into shot here, about the top of where my finger is there, that is a DVD set called the Transparency Template. It's a DVD set which is the only one in the world teaching health and safety and all the legal issues and moral, ethical issues relating to street hypnotism, stage hypnotism and related areas. This was filmed professionally by Russell Hall of Magic in Sheffield and put onto the market by Russell, who launched it at Blackpool Magic Convention a number of years ago. So thank you, Russell. We were equal partners on that project, and I bought Russell out in so much as I bought back the majority of the rights off him. He still has the right to sell it through Magic, but I bought the rights so I could get it distributed through Murphy's Magic Supplies through all major magic dealers a couple of years back, which indeed it is now available through all major magic dealers, although currently the physical DVD version is sold out. It's the world's most comprehensive training set for anyone who wants to be a stage hypnotist or hypnotherapist. Russell also bought license to sell the Seesaw induction set from me. He's attended an event I did called Mind Games in Manchester, teaching mentalism and hypnosis techniques. Back in my teenage years, I first tried to get him to buy the rights to the original magic of Alex-Leroy, the one that Mike Donato ended up buying the rights to, and I ended up buying them back. And over the years, Russell's just been a great support. I've been to his shop on a few occasions, not as many as I would have liked to over the years, but Russell has been incredibly supportive in the shadows of my career over the years and helped me, as I say, in terms of the transparency template and various other projects. So thank you very much indeed, sir. Next to Russell is the legendary Richard Webster, author of numerous cold reading books for the Open Eye Magical Mentalism community and Shut Eye books on fortune telling, pretty much a vast majority of which I've now read. The cold reading ones I read years ago when I was a teenager, and it really did help when I started doing psychic fairs and stuff. Then we have the International Man of Mystery, David Burglas, who, as well as being the father of Marvin Burglas, who is up there, who I worked for at Marvin's Magic when I was their most successful demonstrator. You can learn exactly my pitch in the book that I've got out. Look at my website, magicalguru.com, and then go to Amazon via the link, and you can check that out. He also told Barry Lamond at the Supreme Magic Company that my book on hypnosis, first book on hypnosis, was worth publishing, and Supreme therefore went ahead, bought the rights off me. Unfortunately, that never saw the light of day because shortly afterwards the Supreme Magic Company went bankrupt. So there we have it. Final editions, except for one major name is now missing, and there is space on my right near my desk there for a photograph to go right there of the late and great Brian Howard, aka Hobrin, Master of the Tarot. Currently Richard Webster's kindly looking for me. Russell Hall's already had a look. I'm trying to track down a photo to go in there of Brian Howard, Hobrin, Master of the Tarot, who taught me originally code reading techniques, tarot reading techniques, hypnotherapy, stage hypnosis, and I ultimately ended up buying the rights off him for the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Psychotherapists, as it was previously called, the Association of Professional Hypnotherapists and Parapsychologists, along with the Lotus Foundation for Psychic Studies. So, to discover more about all the other elements in my office and the stories behind them, look at the video below this one. But for now, thank you and goodbye.